Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for hopping on this morning and spending 45 minutes to an hour with me. I see some familiar names, a handful of new names, so I really appreciate you taking the time. This is my fourth webinar of the year, and I'm so excited to be hosting the Deposit to Deal strategy session with you all today. I've been talking about these products for a long, long time. Tembo really built the foundation of our business, leveraging these two products, deposit loans and renovation loans. So I'm really, really excited to share these tools with the broker community and really explain in detail why they're such important products and how you can build a referral machine leveraging deposit loans and renovation loans. So I'm going to just jump into the presentation right away. And I see here that a lot of people are still jumping in to this session, but there's a lot of information. So, and this is going to be recorded, which is going to be uploaded onto YouTube after. So if your colleagues aren't able to make it, or if they're showing up late, I'll provide the link to everyone after this session. So for those of you who know me, hello, good to see you. For those of you who aren't aware of myself or Tembo Financial, my name is Arlen Ekstein. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing at Tembo Financial. Tembo is a direct balance sheet private lender. So we're not a MIC. We don't syndicate or administer any mortgages. We have our own internal funds. It allows us to be lightning fast, providing deal feedback within an hour. We can get commitments out to our brokers within 3 to 4 business hours. And on rush deals, we can fund in 48 hours from application to funding. Brokers love us because we're fast. We can customize terms, and all of our pricing is 100% transparent. So you look like a superhero from origination to payout because everything is clearly communicated and there's no surprises. So this session, it's really near and dear to my heart. I'm really excited, as I mentioned earlier, to share these solutions with you. And when you walk away from this session, you'll be able to action a lot of these items, have these conversations today, this week, and really build yourself a strategy to build a referral machine with your realtor partners, whether they're new realtor partners that you're going to be cold calling, or if you've got a Rolodex of realtor partners you already work with or have already spoken to. Deposit loans and renovation loans will be pure gold for your business. So I'm going to first talk about the opportunity in today's market, why deposit loans and renovation loans are so important and why that is. We're going to talk about the deposit to deal strategy, what that looks like. Then once you understand how it works and what's in it for you, we're going to talk about 5 realtor conversations that you can have that really drum up business, allows you to look like an expert and to be more targeted in the types of clientele that you're approaching. So not just having general conversations with realtors, but saying these are the types of people that I can help with. And there's a lot more opportunities out there, but today I'm only going to be focusing on 5. And then I'm also going to be talking about renovation loans and how you can leverage renovation loans into this strategy as well. I'm first going to speak about deposit loans, but in reality, it's really deposit loans and renovation loans are working kind of side by side. It's one or the other or both, depending on on the client situation. And then talking about handling price objections. So realtors, I've been promoting these products for years, since at least 6 years, directly towards realtors. And for whatever reason, they see the product, they see the value, and it always comes down to price. So I'm going to explain to you on how to handle these objections and to explain why price is more or less irrelevant in this scenario and why you should focus on the solution at hand. And then we're going to wrap it up with building that referral machine and really setting an actionable plan for you to get started today and where you should take this strategy over the next week and beyond. So I'm going to just ask a question, keep this in the back of your mind, write it down. I will be coming back to this question in a second, but it's a question that you should be asking to your realtor partners. How many deals have you lost in the past year because a client couldn't access their deposit? I'm going to leave it up here for 10 seconds just so you can write it down, take a screenshot. But again, I will be coming back to this in closer to the end of the presentation. Okay, so here's the opportunity. Deposit loans and renovation loans are pure gold for your business. There's a lot of reasons why these products are so important in the real estate transaction. And I'm going to get to breaking it down very clearly for everyone. So in today's market, the market has shifted a lot in the last decade. There's a lot of need for flexibility in real estate transactions. The first, and these, I just want to, before I get into specific examples, not every client is in the same life stage. Not every client is financially the same. We all know this. So I'm only giving you top level examples here just to wrap your head around of the opportunities and why deposit loans and renovation loans are so important in the market today, tomorrow, and in the future. The clientele that you work with, it really depends on their situation, who you're working with. I find that brokers tend to stick to their niche, what they know, whether it's their community, the geographic area that they're in, or something else. So I'm giving these examples just really as a baseline, but with each individual broker, after you have conversations with your direct clients or your realtor partners, you'll get a much better sense of the specific reasons and the opportunities that lay there for your own community. So one real easy example is larger deposits. If you look back or talk to anyone that was buying properties in the GTA, I've heard 1,000 stories about Brampton, 10, 15 years ago, where you would put an offer in, you'd shake the seller's hand, you'd give them $500 in good faith, and then you'd close on the deal and away you go. Today, across Ontario, that doesn't exist. Most people need a large deposit. Obviously, as property values have increased substantially throughout the province, there's a need for a much larger deposit. People don't have 50, 60, 70, $80,000 just sitting in their bank account ready to deploy as a deposit. So people need real deposits now to have competitive and compelling offers in the market. They've got locked equities, so they are house rich, cash poor. They don't have access to that money. All of their money is tied up in their home. And there's a timing gap. People they can't buy until they sell, but then they can't sell until they buy. So they're constantly in this loop chasing their tail. And then nowadays, renovations are very important. 40% of the Ontario market are baby boomers. Many of these baby boomers have lived in the same house for 30, 40, 50 years and have done no cosmetic renovations and really done no upkeep to their properties. So a lot of properties are in rough shape these days, tons of equity, but they need some renovations, but they don't have access to that equity. So there's a wave right now of house rich, cash poor clients that have real equity in their home. They have a real plan to move. They're trying to be, or they're currently in the middle of a real estate transaction, and they don't know how to access this equity to get them to where they need to go. And again, I'm talking very general because not every homeowner is the same. So I'm just giving you guys a few examples on where to position and where to think and why there's these opportunities that are in the market. And before I move ahead, I just want to talk really quickly. Deposit loans and renovation loans are fantastic regardless of where you are in the market. We're in a slower market today, so there's opportunities and benefits in a slower market, which I'm going to go into throughout the presentation. But also, they were very important during COVID. Some of the hottest markets that we've seen across Canada and specifically in Ontario, where they've been really busy, both renovations as well as deposits. So these products aren't just helpful in a slower market like we're in today. There's a reason why, and I'll get to it in a little bit, why I'm excited to have this conversation and why it's so important for brokers to learn about this today. But once you learn this and the market picks up, whether it's in 6 months, a year, 5 years from now, these products are going to be gold for your business moving forward. So what happens? People are stuck. They need access and confidence to move forward with a real estate transaction. And there's a standoff that quietly kills deals. There's clients that won't list until they found that next home. But then there's also clients that can't make an offer until their current home sells. So these people wait, whether they're waiting on the sidelines to buy or they're watching opportunities pass by them. Nobody wins. The client's frozen, watching their dream home slip away, or they are sitting with a stale listing on the market and they can't take action until their property's sold. They are starting to feel desperate, feel like they're running out of opportunities, and those walls are closing into their lives. It doesn't help the broker because they know that they've got motivated clients, people that need to move right now, people that want to take advantage of the market and buy cheap opportunities right now. But there's really not much they can do if they don't have the financing to provide that in-term flexibility for their client. And then there's you, the broker. You've worked hard, you've gotten the client pre-approved. And then that broker, since there is no flexibility, they can't get to where they need to go. Those pre-approvals often go and expire, and all your hard work just goes by the wayside, and you've wasted time when you don't have that time to waste. So we know that the realtor partners, they feel it too. They've got listings that are sitting. They've got hesitant buyers that are sitting on the sidelines. And now is the best opportunity. And this is why I wanted to host this webinar in this market right now. Things are a little slower. I know that a lot of you, if not all of you, have spoken to realtors, tried to cold call realtors and win their business. But the reality is realtors are busy. They're at showings, they're networking, they're at events, they're meeting with clients. And we know that, it's very difficult to get in the ears of realtors. So now is the opportune time to get in touch with realtor partners because they're feeling this as well. Their business is slow. They're not able to move as quickly as they'd like to, and they're not much more open now to working with partners that have value add for their business and that will help support their business grow and ultimately provide that flexibility for their clients to get them to where they need to go. So deposit loans and renovation loans are those gold little nuggets that will not only secure you a meeting with these realtor partners, but it'll build you a referral network that will be pure gold for your business moving forward, both in a slower and busier times. So what is the deposit to deal strategy? We're dealing with house rich, cash poor people, homeowners who need access to their equity for deposits or renovations. There's three elements. It's very, very simple, but very, very powerful. So there's three main parts to this, really four, but I'll get to the homeowner in a second. So you've got the broker, which is you guys. You guys are engineering a strategy. This is really the gold nugget here. You're not just calling realtors about getting pre-approvals, having access to the most amount of lenders out there, getting preferred pricing, the usual cold call that newer agents tend to do, really just to get their foot in the door with realtors. You're not really showing value. People want to work with people that they like, which you can't establish that over a phone call. And they want to establish relationships with people where you're adding value to their business on a day-to-day basis. So you're the broker. You're the one that's engineering the solution for the realtor and for their clients. In this trifecta, you've got the realtor partner who's sitting frustrated. They've got stuck listings, but they've got motivated clients that can't move forward. Then Tembo comes in with the deposit strategy. So it's all going to work together and be a trifecta of value add for every single person that's involved. So we got one deposit loan and three winners. You've got the homeowner. Let's start with the homeowner because they're most important. You're providing them the confidence and the flexibility that they need in the middle of a real estate transaction to move forward with confidence with their purchase and their sale. with a deposit loan from Tembo, it doesn't matter if the house is listed, currently listed, already sold, or about to be listed. As long as the property is going to be sold throughout the term of the mortgage, we are confidently providing the client that flexibility to do what they need on the timelines that they need it. So for the homeowner, they're thrilled because if they need money for a deposit, they want to buy before listing, or their house is listed, they need to move and they need to move quick, and they're stressing out about selling that property. That's irrelevant because we're able to provide them those funds to get them to where they need to go in a very short timeline. We can provide funds in 24 to 48 hours, so it's very quick, giving that client the peace of mind in a very short period of time. Second, we've got the realtor that loves this product because we're allowing their deals to move forward. You, the broker, are engineering a strategy to make that realtor's business more efficient. And how do you make it more efficient? Well, because the client can move forward and that realtor can move forward with confidence, you're locking that client into a purchase and a sale with that realtor partner. As a condition to funding a deposit loan, we make the homeowner sign a listing agreement with that realtor. So they're not only getting the purchase with that homeowner, they're also getting the listing as well. So the realtor loves you because you're engineering a strategy to keep this homeowner in the buying and the selling mindset, and you're making that realtor's business more efficient, ultimately killing two birds with one stone, giving that client, giving that realtor more commission with one homeowner. And then you, the broker, because you've engineered this strategy, you're looking like the hero who is creating more revenue, more opportunities for these realtors. They're obviously going to love you, and they're going to contact you for any client that needs financing. You're making their business even more efficient, taking it that next step because you're getting them the pre-approvals so the realtor knows what type of asset, what type of property the client will be approved for. So they're not showing $5 million properties where their client is really only going to be approved for a $600,000 condo, for example. And because you've engineered it, you are setting yourself apart from other brokers that aren't aware of this deposit to deal strategy. You're setting yourself apart, and then you're working with that homeowner to get the purchase financing. So we're making everyone's business, everyone's situation much more efficient. You're providing the confidence to the client, to the homeowner to move ahead, and it allows them to move ahead with that confidence and the funds to do what they need to do on the timeline that they need to do it. So it's real simple with very powerful results. So we advance the equity. So we are looking at the equity in the property. I don't care what the income is. I don't care what the credit score is. Obviously, for AML, we need to pull their credit, or you have to pull their credit. But as long as the property is going to be sold throughout the term of the loan, throughout the mortgage, we will just simply get repaid from the sale of their existing home. So this is like a bridge loan, if you will, on one property versus two, just on the home that they're going to sell. We can fund this in 24 to 48 hours, no income verification. We don't care what the credit score looks like. This is strictly an equity deal. So it's very simple, low docs, very, very powerful results for the homeowner, the realtor, and you, the broker. So I just want to break down what the life cycle looks like. Take a screenshot of this next slide because I think that this is very important. And once you get through a number of these deals, you're going to understand very clearly what it looks like. So you get a lead from a realtor partner, you get a pre-approval for them. Now the clients go and shop, they find that property that they love. But then they say, oh, wow, I don't have $50,000 for a deposit. I went to an open house. The open house was busy. They may be holding back offers or not, whatever the case may be. They need a compelling offer. So they need money for a deposit. They're house rich, cash poor. So then you introduce your client to Tembo, or you help to stick handle the deal. And this is a great opportunity. Either the choice is yours. We have brokers that work with us, and we work together to collect documents that you're going to need for the purchase. Because our deposit loans are very low docs, we might not need we definitely don't need income documents, for example, but you might need income documents, T1s, T1 gens, whatever the case may be. So if it's easier for you to provide uh, a list of documents which include the income documents for your client, that way you can have a much faster time getting them approved and getting that deal complete on your end. I'm okay with doing that. We don't need the income documents, but if you want to do it at the deposit strategy, what we've found over time is when the broker is the intermediary and they're involved with the deposit, it's much easier for you to get the documents that you're going to need in the next month or two, because if they need money for the deposit, they move much faster when they need funds in 24 to 48 hours than it's if they have 90 days to provide you with documents to finalize the purchase financing. So you come to us, or if you're too busy and you want us to handle the deposit, by all means, we'll work together and we'll keep you up to speed on where they are in the stages of getting this deposit loan. You introduce us to your client and we'll handle it and provide fantastic customer service throughout the entire throughout the entire process. It's quick, it's easy, and your clients are going to love working with us. If you want to check it out, we've got 5-star Google reviews, so feel free to have a look at those. So the clients then get their offer accepted. They put the deposit down that they got from Tembo. You help the client close with the purchase financing. In many cases, like I just mentioned earlier, we're working together to provide the documents to you, or to get the documents that you need to make it seamless to get the purchase financing approved. Then their house sells, they move into their existing home, they're into their new home. Everything is happy. Everyone is happy. Tembo then gets paid from the closing of their existing home. So it's quick, it's easy. The lawyers work it out. Tembo gets paid. And then the client's delighted with the service. It was seamless. It was easy. Everyone was working together to get them into that new home, from a pre-approval to the deposit to the purchase financing. The realtor worked efficiently and it was amazing. Now your realtor partner loves you because you got them a purchase and a sale within 90 to 120 days. They got double the commission in a shorter period of time. They didn't have to chase that client to buy after they sold. That realtor loves you. You set yourself apart. You gave them great customer service. You made the financing often a stressful time for homeowners and purchasers. You made it seamless for them, and that realtor absolutely loved you. You made them look like a superhero. You looked like a superhero to the realtor and to the client, and it is a trifecta of value add. So it's just going to be natural that it's going to be a rinse and repeat scenario where this realtor is going to then get a lead from your realtor partner, that next person that they're working with that needs financing or needs money for a deposit or renovations. They're going to contact you. You're going to get the pre-approval. They find a house, they need a deposit or renovations, and then so on and so forth. So take a screenshot of this life cycle because you're going to get to know it very, very well. It's going to be first nature for you after you get 2, 3, 5 deals under your belt. So here, I'm just going to talk very quickly, the Realtor Growth Tool. So now we spoke about the deposit to deal strategy, but how do you action this? Where do you find your niche? So I want to just talk about some examples, some conversations that you can have with realtors. So starting today, even though you haven't necessarily done a deposit, you can look like an expert to your realtor partners and start booking those meetings and getting these deposits and pre-approvals under your belt. So your referral machine business can start legitimately today. So here's the deposit loan just explained. I'm sure it's very clear at this point since I've gone into it already with detail. A client selling their home, they want to put a deposit on a new one when they make their offer, but their equity is tied up until closing. Tembo advances the deposit against their home equity, often within 48 hours. We can do it faster than that, but with an asterisk. All of us brokers know that title insurance is very slow. Clients are often slow. They needed money yesterday, but they work until 5 o'clock and then they aren't willing to go to the bank. Whatever the excuse is, we've all heard it. But we can fund in 48 hours from application to funding. No income verification, no monthly payments. So again, because it's our own funds, you tell us what you need. We can do it prepaid. If your clients prefer to make payments, we can set it up that way as well. And then we just simply get repaid from the full from the closing of their existing home. The client makes a strong, confident offer instead of waiting and hoping for their existing home to sell, which incurs a lot of costs, which I'm going to get into later on in the presentation. So 5 conversations. Again, you are experts in your networks, in your communities, in the locations that you work. So again, these are just 5 conversations just to get the ball rolling, get your marketing brains rolling. But there's much more opportunity that are out there. So I'm only going to highlight these 5 because these are the 5 that we often see coming through Tembo, whether it's whether it's the hesitant seller that won't list until they found their next place, whether it is because they don't know what they're going to be able to put down because they don't know what their property is going to sell for. Maybe they're just they had a bad experience in the past and they want to know that they've got their hands on a beautiful property before they list their property for sale. You've got the downsizing seniors. Again, I mentioned over 40% of homeowners in Ontario are baby boomers. Many of them are seniors, empty nesters, and they're the fastest growing demographic in Canada right now. So we're going to see many more homeowners downsizing into condos, into bungalows, or something else. So we've got equity rich, cash poor homeowners that are looking for a smaller property to live in. Then we've got the upsizing families. Me and my friends are all in this realm. We've got the people who are having children that are growing or expecting children, and they need more space to house these babies or these kids. Playrooms, room to host their friends and family. Basements with units to have family or friends to babysit. Whatever the case may be, there's upsizing families that found their dream home. They have equity in their existing home. Their current home isn't selling and they need to move on. They've got a timeline that they need to jump on, or they found the property that they love. They can afford it, but their down payment and their deposit is stuck in their existing home. Then the separation sale. This is never a fun one, but it provides a lot of peace of mind for both parties. You've got the people who are separating. They've got a matrimonial home and they want to just move on with their lives. They don't want to live in the house until they, chalk up their separation agreement. They need to move on, whether a person's buying the other person out, or they're selling the matrimonial home and both renting or both buying. Whatever the case may be, we can provide deposit funds for couples that are separating and moving on with their lives. Then you've got the cottage move. We lend across Ontario, even in rural areas in cottage country. So if clients are looking, and we're seeing a lot of this with downsizing seniors, they're looking to move out of the city, get more space, be one with nature. So they're moving up to more rural locations, the Bancrofts, Kawartha, the Kawarthas, Muskoka. We're getting a lot of inquiries right now up on Manitoulin Island. So there's the cottage move, people that are house rich, cash poor, and they want to move up to cottage country. So these are 5 exceptional conversations that you can have with realtors today to really identify opportunities within their book of business on ways that you can identify opportunities for yourself. So now you're thinking, look, Arlen, these are 5 great or 5 great niches to focus on, but how do I break the ice? How does this conversation start with realtors? How do I get that conversation, or how do I have that chat, that in-person meeting with the realtor? Well, I've broken down the exact words, and it doesn't have to be exact. We've used this in the past. Brokers have used these conversations in the past, but you know yourself best. You want to be authentic. You want to sound like an expert. So you can massage these phrases to make it look like you know what you're talking about based on how you communicate with your friends and your partners. So the hesitant seller. What if your client could put a deposit on the next home before this one was even listed or sold? We can make that happen in 48 hours. That takes that hesitant seller off the sidelines, and it provides that confidence and peace of mind to get them to where they need to go. Or the downsizing senior. There's no income verification, no monthly payments, no out-of-pocket expenses in most cases, maybe an appraisal, but this gets repaid from the sale of the home that you're going to sell. The realtor gets motivated downsider off of the fence and gets them to where they need to go. You're providing them that confidence and the financial flexibility to get that downsizing senior excited about moving out of their home. If you've lived in a property for 30 or 40 years, there's likely a lot of memories in that home. And even if they're ready to make that move, it's emotionally a lot for seniors to get out and get the ball rolling into moving that, making that next move. Or the upsizing family. Secure that new home now and sell on a normal timeline. The market's slower, so instead of panic selling or losing that home they love, let's act today. Or the separation sale. A deposit loan gives everyone room to breathe and a fresh start. We can move fast and handle it with care that earns lifelong loyalty for those people that you're helping in a very emotional and vulnerable state. So very simple, very easy words to open up the door and talk about these specific clientele with your realtor partners. Again, this is just suggestions. You can change these phrases however you think are best, depending on how you run your business, communicate with your realtor partners. But this is just very strong suggestions on how to position the conversation to get your foot in the door. So here's a case study from one of our past clients, Susanna and Simon. They were selling their home. They found a new property that they loved, but they needed to put down a deposit. Their equity was locked up, and using funds from investments were not an option for them. We approved this deal within an hour. They had a lot of equity in their property. We got the paperwork done that afternoon. Our lawyers instructed the other side within 4 business hours. So we funded that deal in 48 hours, no problem. They made a strong offer. They sold their house, and then Tembo just simply got repaid from the proceeds of the sale. The outcome, the offer was accepted, the mortgage got funded, and the realtor was killed 2 birds with 1 stone with Susanna and Simon. They got the purchase and the sale, and the mortgage broker was thrilled because they helped Susanna and Simon with the new purchase financing. We got them an answer within an hour. So there's no better way to provide confidence to a homeowner that's either sitting on the sidelines or sitting on the fence about doing what they need to do. Getting them clear, concrete answers within an hour will provide all the confidence. It'll separate you from the other brokers out there trying to win this business. It's going to show the realtors that you know what you're doing and that they're going to give you 100% confidence to work with their client for the deposit financing, the renovation financing, and most importantly for you, the purchase financing. And for the realtor, it sets 2 deals for them, which means that they're making more commission and seamlessly helping this homeowner get 2 deals, both the purchase and the sale. So I've spoken a lot about deposit loans. So now let's talk about renovation loans and how you can leverage this as a business builder as well. So I'm going to start with an example. A client needs a refresh before listing, a dated kitchen, a tired bathroom, but the cash to do it just isn't in the bank. So they're, again, house rich, cash poor. They need to do a refresh, whatever the case may be. A lot of realtors like to say slapping lipstick on a pig. So doing cosmetic renovations that will help provide an increase in curb appeal for the homeowner. And every realtor, they're experts in their areas that they work, so they would know best on what cosmetic renovations will be best for the areas that they're working in or that they're selling in. So there's a lot of scenarios. There's sellers whose home need a refresh before listing. These are often cottage properties that haven't been touched in decades. Also, empty nesters or seniors who are looking to downsize. They've lived in these houses for 20, 30, 40 years. They've raised their kids who are now 35, 40 in these properties. They're outdated. They're old. There's holes in the walls. There's patchwork that was DIY that doesn't look very great. And doing cosmetic renovations to these properties are essential to get them listed and sold. There's also clients right now, especially since the market's quiet right now. We know, us as a lender, you guys as brokers, that there's a lot of listings sitting stale on the market right now. So doing cosmetic renovations on stale listings are very helpful, and I'm going to get to it in the next slide. These renovation loans are also fantastic for investors or clients of yours who flip properties but need access to funds and get decisive decisions quickly. Again, because property values are low right now, we're starting to see these real estate investors who like to flip properties get back into the market because they're finding great deals right now. So realtors have a very difficult but also an easy solution in the current market when properties are sitting stale on the market. There's really two options. The first one is lowering the sale price, which isn't beneficial to anyone. It lowers the amount of money in the homeowner's pocket because they're going to sell their house for less, so it costs them money. It also doesn't leave a good taste in that homeowner's mouth about their realtor because they probably promised selling their house for a certain dollar amount and they weren't able to achieve that. So they're just taking the easy way out and lowering that sale price, which isn't beneficial also to the realtor, not only from a referral and customer service point of view, but it's also leaving less money in their pocket because they're making less money because their property is selling for less money. So it's in the realtor's best interest to sell it for as much as they possibly can, not just take the easy way out and lower the sale price to sell it faster. The smartest move and the second option is taking it off the market, doing some cosmetic renovations, and then relisting that property with better curb appeal in the hopes that there's going to be much more excitement within the property so you can hopefully help that client sell the home faster and maintain the value, or even sell the home for higher than what they were originally looking to list or sell their property for. And I know people are saying, oh, that's crazy, Arlen, but we've seen a lot of examples, even in this slower market, where clients have done cosmetic renovations, listed the property, and sold for over what they thought they were going to list and sell the property for because the renovations really showed well in the listing. People saw the property and they were willing to pay more for the property because they fell in love. So the renovations that move the needle, this is really just something to work with your realtor partners with. Obviously, they're experts in renovations, home staging, things like that. But these are the obvious five. So doing a kitchen refresh, it doesn't have to be the full kitchen, but updating the countertops. Maybe there's cracks or scratches. Maybe updating cabinetry. Maybe they're outdated. Again, scratches, cracks in the wood. Maybe the design is well outdated. It looks like it's from the 60s, like a scene from that 70s show. So doing some cosmetic renovations to the kitchen makes a world of difference. The primary bathroom, these are the people who are making the decisions. These are the primary homeowners. They wake up, they get ready in their primary bathroom. So adding a new vanity, maybe a husband and wife, two sinks set up where there's only one. I know with my personal life, my wife would love for us to have two sinks in our bathroom. So installing a new vanity, updating the tiles, cleaning grout, just doing some small cosmetic things to help modernize the primary bathroom makes a world of difference. Increasing the curb appeal, so doing some exterior paint along the windowsills, replacing or updating a front door, creating or tidying up your landscaping, putting in some new sod so your grass in the front of your house looks fresh. or putting in a little garden bed to show that you like to garden and that the property is beautiful, or doing something even much more simple, just like updating the painting, or putting in some new flooring, whether it's vinyl or hardwood, and ripping out some old school carpet makes a world of difference. Or you can get to the very, very basics of something cheap and cheerful, just updating the lighting fixtures, creating a new uplifting vibe, changing the color of the lights from a yellow tint to more of a blue, a more vibrant look. Whatever the case may be, small cosmetic renovations, especially when the market is soft right now, helps to increase a stale listing and it reinvigorate buyers to look at that property. And we're already seeing that it's helping to increase exposure and helping properties sell faster. 3 things to avoid. Obviously, if you're selling a property, don't put a new pool in. They're expensive, and the ROI now doesn't exist with pools. Big additions. So adding a mud room in the front of your house or a kitchen in the back of your house, applying for permits and doing all of that expensive, lengthy work likely isn't going to turn an ROI in the near term. And personal finishes. So just because you want crown molding that has lines at every corner might not be what these buyers are interested in. So avoid personal finishes that you as the seller might love that the overall market isn't really interested in. So here's a success story of a client of ours from earlier this year. They were getting their listing ready. David and Rachel, they knew that their home wouldn't show its best. They had a dated kitchen, a really tired bathroom on their main floor. They needed to get the work done fast, and they didn't want to drain their savings. They didn't want to pull out of their investments. We were able to advance the renovations very quick, very easily. Again, no income verification. They chose that they didn't want monthly payments. They refreshed the kitchen and the bathroom. The home showed beautifully after they did the renovations, and they got a lot more showings. They sold their property faster, and we got repaid from the sale of their home. And the best part for them and for the realtor is that they sold for $60,000 above what their original plan listing price was. So again, they put in a few $1,000s, 10, 15, $20,000 into the renovation, and they sold well beyond what they were expecting to sell their house for. So now I've gone through the opportunity, some conversations and some niches within where deposit loans and renovations are going to work as a referral engine for your business. You guys, I'm sure, get the value at this point, but like I mentioned earlier, realtors, they see the value, they understand it, but for some reason, the first question is, how much does it cost? And at Tembo, we believe transparency is king in this business. So I want to show you a very rough estimate. Usually the pricing is slightly less than this, but I'm just using very simple math, 1% per month from the interest rate, just a very top level, very round number lender fee, just to get your head wrapped around what the costs could be for a deposit loan for 6 months or a renovation loan for 6 months. And then I'm going to speak about what it costs for not doing a deposit loan. And you can clearly see the cost savings, regardless of what the interest rate is, with getting your clients a deposit loan. So for a $50,000 loan, lender fee, say it's about $2,000. Our legal fees are $1,450 plus HST, which is inclusive of title insurance and disbursements. Say the interest over a 6-month period is $3,000. Then there's discharge fees, which are the discharge fee, our statement fee, and what our lawyers charge to discharge the mortgage of $925. That's total cost from origination to payout, not including an appraisal, which we don't always require an appraisal. Which is why I haven't spoken about it, but it's a nominal cost. If you want, add another $500, $600 to the total cost from here. If you lead with transparency, regardless of the cost, it might shock someone being like, wow, $8,000, that's going to cost a lot of money. But the reality is you're actually saving the client out-of-pocket expenses when all is said and done. And I'm going to explain that to you right now. So the pricing objection, it's reframed. So if a client doesn't have money for a deposit, what happens? So the client lists a property, they sell it. On the closing day, they move out. They need to move somewhere. Often they have to find a short-term rental, usually about $2,500 in the GTA, or they move in with friends and family. And I can tell you from experience, moving in with friends and family isn't good. You're all over each other. You're breathing down each other's backs. You're forced to hang out with them all the time. So most people choose to pay for a short-term rental. They got to move things, all of their stuff somewhere. They got to hire movers. They got to move things into storage. And then they find a property 6 months later down the line, and then they got to hire a mover to then move their stuff from the storage unit back into their new home. That is a total cost of $31,700. Even if we subtract the rent, say they do decide to move in with friends and family, and you subtract the $15,000, which is $2,500 a month in rent, that's still a cost of $16,700 that the client is going to have to pay out of pocket for all of these expenses. If I go back for 1 second, assuming that they're moving in with friends and family, so it's a total cost of $16,700. If you look at the alternative of doing a deposit loan to streamline everything, we're looking at a savings to the client of about $8,458.50. So at first, $8,200 and change may look like a lot of money for a 6-month solution, but the reality is you're providing a solution to get the clients where they need to go on a timeline that they want to do it in. You're also saving them money out of pocket, saving them over $8,000 using this example. So when it comes to rates and fees, you need to change and reframe from a rate and fee conversation with these realtors to not only am I making you, the realtor, more money, I'm also providing peace of mind and flexibility for these homeowners and saving them money over the long run. Because we all know once the sale closes, that realtor is gone. They take their commission and you don't hear from them again. So if they don't get a deposit, and that realtor helps that homeowner sell their house, they're not thinking about the additional costs after that home is sold and the realtor walks away with their commission and that homeowner has that money in their property. Or the equity that they got from that sale in their back pocket because they still need somewhere to live. So you need to reframe and explain very clearly to realtors why it's not a conversation about the cost. You're providing a solution that makes their business more efficient, all while most importantly helping that homeowner do what they need to do on the timeline that they need when you're in fact saving that client money out of pocket over the long run. You can answer any objection while having these meetings. It's expensive. We just went over that. You're going to save the client money over the long run. You're providing them peace of mind. It's a solution. It's not about rates and fees. Why not a HELOC? A lot of people don't have access to a HELOC. If you, the broker, want to go apply for a HELOC, it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks and the clients need money in 24 to 48 hours. When the market picks up and it's a competitive offer environment, you're going to need money yesterday for a deposit, usually with the offer that you put in. So when you need that quick turnaround, a HELOC isn't going to cut it. And in the market that we're in right now, most people's HELOCs are maxed out or they don't have the $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 that they need to put down as a deposit. Bruce credit, like I've been talking throughout the presentation, we don't care what the credit score is with this type of product. As long as the property is going to be listed and sold throughout the term of the mortgage, the income and the credit score doesn't matter. And what if the house doesn't sell fast? We're in a slow market. We know, we understand that. We can create a term long enough that will give these clients peace of mind that they can keep their property on the market so they can sell on their timeline without feeling forced to sell at a reduced rate. So it's when you lead with the values that deposits and renovation loans provide the client, the realtor, and yourselves, the rate and fee objection evaporates because they'll understand the value that it's not about the lowest interest rate. It's about how fast can you get the client money, how flexible can you make the product for them, and because these terms are fully open, it provides tremendous flexibility for your client. So building the referral machine. So we've already spoken about it at length, but I'm just going to really tie everything up. Realtors love deposit and renovation loans. Why? Because the broker is helping make these realtors' businesses more efficient. You're pretty much guaranteeing 2 transactions from one client, the listing and the purchase, all within 90 to 120 days. You're helping stuck listings move by doing renovations or providing that peace of mind to allow that homeowner the flexibility to do what they want to do when they want to do it. You're solving problems. So you're engineering these solutions. You're not just talking about pre-approvals, purchase financing, access to banks, the run-of-the-mill stuff that most brokers talk about when they're communicating with their realtor partners. So you're also showing a pathway to these realtor partners on how to make more commission in a shorter period of time. When the market picks up and these realtors are busy again and they don't have time, they need to be as efficient as possible. Just like you guys dialing in your processes internally, you're going to help show a clear pathway to giving these realtors more commission on a tighter timeline. So when the market picks up, they're going to be more efficient and make more money, helping more clients throughout the given year. So you're helping tighten up their processes with deposit loans and renovation loans. And why do you guys win? Well, you're the expert. You're setting yourself apart. You're getting realtors to not only like you, they're going to love you because you're able to show them all of those benefits for their own business. You're also making them look like superheroes to their existing clients. And because they're going to love you, you're going to be their go-to for any pre-approvals, any purchasing or financing needs that their clients are going to need. And you're going to be memorable because you're setting yourself apart from just the rate and fee conversation. You're talking about solution focused. You're talking about solutions and being a solution focused mortgage broker, not just trying to compete with rates, which I know right now, a lot of mortgage brokers love to hear that. So the door opener, I spoke about the 5 specific niches and, one sentence that will get you your foot in the door. But that's once you're sitting with the client, with the realtor. To get your foot in the door, and literally the sentence that you can open with today when you're contacting your realtors is, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm a mortgage broker. I've got a way to make your business more efficient and give your clients complete flexibility during their move. Let's grab a coffee so I can tell you all about it. Or do you want to grab a coffee to hear about it? If there's a way that you in this market can provide peace of mind, creativity, and making that realtor's business more efficient, there's no reason why these realtors are going to say no to this solution that almost seems like it's too good to be true. So circling back to my first question, when you're sitting with these realtors, you're trying to understand the pain points and the problems that they're having right now. So the easiest conversation and the easiest diagnostic question to ask these realtors before you get into the 5 potential, if not more potential niches are, how many deals have you lost because a client couldn't access their deposit? I can guarantee you that these realtors are going to say, oh, I had a client last week. I wish I heard from you sooner. Or this happens to me all the time. Or the second diagnostic question focused on renovations. How many buyers overlook homes that just need cosmetic updates? I can guarantee you there's a lot of homes on the market or going to be on the market that need cosmetic renovations. These are going to hit home for your realtor partners. So leveraging these two simple, easy, thought-provoking questions will allow you to get the information that you need to then get into those 5 niche communities that you can then support and look like an expert helping. And you can use that first icebreaker to get that presentation locked in with those realtor partners. So that's really the deposit to deal strategy, leveraging deposit loans and renovation loans to build a referral business, save clients and save yourselves and realtors deals that ultimately would fizzle and die in the current market. I just want to take 5 minutes to talk about Tembo Financial and how we can support your business over and above deposit and renovation loans, because the market's crazy right now. People need more flexibility than ever. The fact that Tembo is able to customize solutions, understand where the client is today, where they're trying to go tomorrow. We can customize solutions that will get your clients there over and above just deposit and renovation loans. And this can help support these conversations with realtors, which is why I want to take 5 minutes to talk about them, because it could also be an alley-oop to save the deal. So if you can't get purchase financing, for example, with a bank or an alt lender, and you need a private short-term solution, Tembo can help provide those solutions as well. We're a full A to Z private lender doing first and second mortgages. I spoke about deposit and renovation loans. We do bridge financing. Really, deposit and renovation loans are a form of a function of bridge financing. We help realtors and mortgage brokers with purchase financing as well. Maybe you didn't realize that the client bought a new car and they're in recent times, and their GDS TDS doesn't fit at this moment, or their credit took a big hit. Whatever the case may be, we can help with purchase financing. We do a lot of refinances and equity takeouts. We're helping a lot of people with power of sale buyouts at the moment. We do a lot of second mortgages behind chip reverse mortgages. So if any of you have taken the CCRMC course, which I highly recommend for any mortgage brokers that work with seniors 55 plus with reverse mortgages, check out the CCRMC course. It's fantastic. But we work a lot with Home Equity Bank to help provide paying out shortfalls when you brokers are helping clients with cash flow needs and paying out existing mortgages with reverse mortgages. And then we do flip and investor projects as well. I mentioned it earlier with renovations. We're starting to see these flippers get back into the market because property values have slumped a lot throughout Ontario, and these flippers are taking a lot of huge advantage of people who aren't doing the renovations themselves and leaving a lot of meat on the bone for these flippers to get in, do the renovations, and then relist and sell the property. Here are just some quick scenarios, but I'm running short on time, so I'm going to just skip over them. But really, we lend all throughout Ontario, from the Windsor area all the way to the Ottawa Valley, from Sudbury to Toronto, pretty much everywhere and anywhere in between. Here is our top level lending parameters as they sit right now. We're quite comfortable at 65 to 70% loan to value. We're doing 70 to 75 on a case-by-case basis. Sorry, 75 on a case-by-case basis. Our fees start at 2% and up. There's no income verification in many cases, no appraisal in many cases on low loan to value or sold properties, listed properties with an asterisk. Really, just because the property is listed doesn't mean that it's going to be sold. Same day commitments, obviously, I was talking about speed throughout the presentation. We can provide you with deal feedback within an hour. We can get you a commitment with 3 to 4 business hours, and we can customize terms. So we understand where the clients are today, where they're trying to go tomorrow, and we can customize a solution that will help get them there. And then lastly, I'm really excited to talk about our volume bonus program. It's our way of giving back to the broker channel for funding deals and working with Tembo. It's very easy. our kickoff, and it's a cumulative program. So to go from kickoff to bronze is only 2 additional deals. Pretty much it's a calendar year starting January 1st to December 31st. And we compensate brokers with gift card reward bonuses for brokers who fund deals. And it's either the number of deals funded or the dollar amount that's funded with Tembo. So our kickoff bonus is 5 beeps or a $300 gift card reward, whichever is bigger. Fund any 3 deals at any denomination. Our minimum loan amount is $30,000. So if you fund three deals at $30,000, you're likely going to qualify for the minimum reward of $300. Bronze is 7.5 beeps. Fund 5 deals or $2.5 million with Tembo, and you'll hit the bronze tier. Silver is 10 beeps in gift card rewards. So fund 10 deals or $4 million, and you'll get 10 beeps in gift card rewards. Gold is 12.5 beeps. Fund 15 deals or $6 million in deals, and you'll get 12.5 beeps. Or platinum, this is what all the brokers are working towards. Fund 25 deals or $11 million in volume with Tembo, and you'll get 15 beeps from us. It's a very lucrative program because it's cumulative. If you get to the platinum tier, you can make upwards of $30,000 in gift card rewards. And we partnered up with an online portal. They give you access to over 200 plus retailers, anyone from travel, food and beverage, renovation, so Home Depot. So if you've got a renovation that you've been putting off for a while because you couldn't afford it or you didn't want to take money out of savings or get a loan for it, this is a great opportunity to do that. If it's been a while and you haven't taken your family out on a real vacation or a staycation, this is a great opportunity to do that. I had a client recently just take their family to Great Wolf Lodge, leveraging the gift card bonus and the gift card reward that they received from our program. Here are a lot of questions. Feel free to take a screenshot. I'm aware of everyone's time. I know that I'm over by 3 minutes. So we can fund very fast. We verify income, but with deposit loans and renovation loans, there's no income verification or credit checks, or we don't care much about the credit score. There is no minimum credit score with Tembo. We lend all throughout Ontario, from Sudbury to Toronto, the Ottawa Valley to Windsor, and everywhere in between, including rural locations. With deposit loans and renovation loans, we're repaid from the sale proceeds with no monthly payments if your clients choose to do that. And we're not a MIC, as I mentioned earlier. We are a balance sheet private lender. So we have our internal funds, and we generally go to 65 to 70%, 75 on a case-by-case basis. And hopefully when the market turns around, we'll be able to provide a product up to 80%. So this is the last slide I'm going to leave you with. This is a 7-day action plan. This is how you turn and action everything that I spoke about today. You're going to, on day 1, so today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday next week, you're going to pick 3 realtor partners that you think you can break the ice with. Give them a call, lead with the value add, and make those phone calls. Day 3, lead and get those door openers ready. Bring those stuck clients into the scenario. Identify those clients that you can help those realtors with, and then break the ice. Get those realtors to look through their Rolodex on the types of people that you can help with, whether it's the upsizing, the younger upsizing family, or the downsizing senior, the separation clients, or the clients that want to buy a cottage property. Speak to those realtor partners. Be direct. Talk about specific scenarios that you as the broker can help with, and then dig deep. Don't just go very wide in talking general. Find your niche, act as the expert within that niche, and contact those realtor partners. And then hopefully within a week, that realtor is going to find clients for you, people who have been sitting on the sideline because they haven't had money for a deposit. They want to buy before listing and they keep trying to chase their tail, or that client that's in a separation and they can't sell their home right now, but they need access to a deposit so they can separate and go their own merry way. Whatever the case may be, focus on your niche, contact those realtor partners, have those meetings, show your value, show that you're an expert in deposit and renovation loans, and then send Tembo that next deal so you can start your referral engine. Show these realtors why you're the expert and you're the only mortgage broker that they should work with moving forward. So yeah, that's all I've got today. Here's my contact details so you can get in touch with me. This is our general information. You can contact me directly at the office, 416-238-6717, or email inquiries at info@tembofinancial.com and just say, hey, Arlen, if I'm on a webinar or any sort of lender presentation, info at or calling the office, anyone can support and do a deal run with you. We really look forward to working with you on your next deals. Our whole main goal within Tembo Financial is making brokers look like a superhero so you can nurture these clients for the remainder of their mortgage journey. For deposit loans and renovation loans, we want you to build these referral partners to create a referral machine that will light your business on fire and create so many opportunities that you're so busy that you need to be hiring support to close the deals that you're getting from renovations and deposits. This is the way that you're going to get your foot in the door for the purchase financing. And once you get the purchase financing, because you provide a great, transparent, and quick solution for these homeowners, you're all obviously going to be able to nurture that homeowner for the entirety of their mortgage journey, whether it's 20, 25, 30 years. So think of these deposits and renovation loans as a strategy to get your foot in the door, get these realtor partners on board to send you referrals, and use this as a machine to leverage your expertise in the business and set yourself apart from other mortgage brokers that are trying to just win based on rates and fees with no real value add. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, and I'm just going to look at the chat to see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions. So thanks everyone for your time today. I hope you found this very valuable, and I look forward to working with you on your next deals. Have a great day and enjoy the long weekend. Take care.